recording. Oh, we are recording. Oh yeah, I forgot that we record. I'll leave the recording on.
Why are you recording?
Because usually they get posted to YouTube later, just like privately. Oh. Hello. I don't think I know you. I'm Ainsley.
I'm Yasmin.
Yasmin, nice to meet you. This is my
Nice to meet you too. I just have to figure out where to put my iPad.
And this is Gustav.
Hello.
Hey Yasmin, how you doing?
Hi Mike. Good.
Hey. You came, yay! Thank you very much.
I came.
Yay! Hey Ainsley, what's going on here? Are we eating outside?
We're outside.
Oh.
Also, I have a really bright infrared heater above my head, hence the dramatic purple glow.
You got marshmallows to toast as well.
Find a food way of celebrating Thanksgiving.
Ah, of course, yeah. So what is it? Is it actually Thanksgiving today?
It's Monday. So Canadian
okay.
Thanksgiving is the second Monday of October.
Okay, yeah.
When holidays make no sense.
Yeah.
But
It's fab. So have you recruited all the Canadians in the area?
no, I mean we have Gustav, who is my partner, and he's Swedish.
Hey, good to meet you.
Have you met Michael?
I have not met Michael.
And my friend Melissa, who is American and probably also looking for future ways of celebrating Thanksgiving, but a different Thanksgiving. But had amazing venison to support my Thanksgiving celebrations with, and I am there for it.
Oh. Hey Evan, thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
What do we appreciate?
Evan just held up a copy of my book.
Oh.
Oh, yay! Oh, this is wonderful. Bless you so much.
Would you like, Mike? You sent things you wanted to share, so I'm assuming that Melissa will get a taste of your poetry. And then
no,
potentially
won't. Sorry, no, I haven't written anything.
None of yours.
No,
sorry, I've been eating dinner, so I've been not properly paying attention to my text.
Okay, yeah, sure. No, it's okay. Yeah. I thought I'd send you the. It's fine. I thought I'd send them so if you wanted to curate them, you could. But,
no, I think everything's good. Whatever you think. I'm not going to read my 16-minute long one, as much as I love it. But 16 minutes is too long.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we could break it up into sections throughout the night.
I mean, it is essentially 12 different poems, maybe 13 different poems.
Okay.
But if you like chunks of it, we can do separate chunks.
Yeah.
I wonder if Gustav.
Do they work kind of okay on their own, or is it?
Good.
Gustav?
I was gonna suggest maybe we could switch sides so I don't have the stupid glow above my head, but it's
or
fine.
You could pass the poem around the table. Each of you could read a different section.
It's true. We could pass the poem. I mean, I think that this particular poem might be terrible to inflict on other people to read because it makes me cry at least 4 times. And Melissa has another poem she would like to contribute, which is not the 16-minute poem that I thought was great. So, I have other poems. I have a poem about gratefulness and a poem about food and family.
Nice.
And there have been many other people interested in participating, so I think we will have plenty. And if by the time 9:45 rolls around, everyone wants a 16-minute long poem, we can do it.
To pad it out, yes, sounds good.
If it had enough Madeira, and I think I can get through it without bawling.
Oh.
Beautiful poem.
How are you, Yasmin? Tell me all the things. How's your day?
I posted it on the group. I have another Roskay poem, which is much shorter.
Okay. How are you,
I could
Yasmin?
read. I'm good. Oh, Yasmin.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. What have you got there? Is it hot chocolate or tea or coffee?
No, some tea.
Nope.
What flavors? Regular tea or fruity tea?
It's just plain chamomile tea.
Chamomile's nice. Very relaxing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love the normal herbal teas, all kinds. I have plenty. Like I have the tiniest kitchen you can imagine, but I have plenty of tea.
Oh, I like your bookshelf as well behind you. That's really cool.
Yes.
Hey, good to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Oh, you've got mustache going on. Fantastic.
Oh, Michael has
And
a mustache.
hair. Matching my hair.
My
Hair brothers.
yeah, it looks good on you, I have to say.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. Oh, good to see you back in the same house as well. That's
Yeah.
proud.
It's all the same. It's been really busy. So, Ainsley, you're outside. Oh my
We
god.
have embraced pandemic winter, and we have a fucking awesome infrared heater, and we are having Thanksgiving dinner in the alfresco.
That's amazing. Oh,
And I can highly recommend infrared heaters because I haven't even noticed that I'm outside.
Ah,
That's awesome.
It's so good. I'm
So have-
distinctly surprising.
how have you been, Michael? I say I haven't seen you for ages.
Yeah, oh yeah, I have been kind of busy with the new school year. I have
Oh goodness, how's it going?
kids are back, and I've got a quite small classroom,
Ooh, sounds quite
and
scary actually. Yeah.
like really what's the word? Annoying parents. So like
the kids then.
the kids are fine.
Really annoying kids.
Every week I get an email, at least one email from the parents saying, I'm worried about little Johnny's reading. Can we have a 15-hour meeting to discuss this? And like, so it's just, it's been a lot of stress, to be honest.
Sorry, mate.
But it's fine, and the kids are lovely.
Yeah. Oh,
so
cool. Remind me, what age do you teach?
I teach 8-year-olds.
Oh.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I like my girls.
Melissa also teaches, but
But
third year
grown-ups.
university.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's similar level of annoying parents.
You have similarly
Yes.
annoying parents.
Yes, but legally they can't ask us to do anything because
Hey,
Katie,
Katie. Hey, Nick.
Hey, Katie.
I'm just gonna check who said they had things for me.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Super close.
I think we're less close than the others.
Yeah.
I like your moustache, Michael.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's mostly laziness, generally. The thing is, like, I'm scared of going to the hairdresser, so I can allow it to.
I have also decided that possibly I'm just going to like see how long my hair grows until I'm allowed to see my friends officially.
Yeah. It's the longest it's ever been for me. It's getting down here now, which is.
It is fair. Gustav's also doing the long hair thing, and you know he went past Ringo Starr.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. That's great.
That's cool. You're definitely winning. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a race. I'm gonna-
He did a haircut when the lockdown started, and he hadn't gotten one. And now he's just embracing it.
Totally. I think there's going to be lots of new hairstyles coming out of this, to be honest.
I'm in favor of man buns.
Hi, Valerie.
Hey, Valerie. On the topic of new hairstyles. Hey.
I know, I got it. I was like, oh my god, it's really short. It got a chop today. So
That's
but I've
fabulous.
just
It's
been like
lovely.
lying on my couch all day reading, so it's a bit like flat in places now.
Oh,
It looks good.
Nice to see you guys.
fabulous.
Thank you very much. How are you?
Well, good. Thank you very much. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. It's my first Saturday in for months. I can't remember the last time I spent the whole day in my flat, and I was just
Yeah.
like reading, so it was quite nice actually.
Yeah. What have you been reading?
I've been reading about chakras. I don't know if anyone's into.
Yeah. Mind, body, soul. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Mind, body,
Yeah.
soul stuff. I love that kind of.
Yeah.
So I've decided to dig deeper into my understanding of chakras and their effect on the body.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Like the mind-body connection. So.
Yeah. Hi, fab.
Yeah.
And is that part of the meditation, or just kind of separate, or I guess it's all holistic?
Separate. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, it probably, once I get further into it, it'll probably include meditations. I'm sure there'll be meditations you can do for each chakra or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Other practices, but I haven't gotten that far yet. So.
Oh, fab.
And do you have any recommendations for books? Because I've struggled to find anything good to read on the internet about that.
About chakras. So the one that I've got is called Wheels of Life. I think it was the first book originally written about chakras over 20 years ago. And it doesn't sound like a lot has changed since then. So I think this is more of a more newly released version. So this came recommended to me by lots of other people who are interested in this kind of thing. Yeah.
Hey, fab.
What's everyone else been up to?
I started my semester and it's been really crazy.
Yeah.
So this is my day off today and I haven't done anything I don't have to do. So
That sounds good.
It's been a good day, but
Nice.
leading up to this, it was really crazy. But
Oh no.
it's nice to be back and to.
Yeah, it's good to see your faces.
So how long have you been back?
I came back to Edinburgh at the start of August, and then I stayed in quarantine for 2 weeks, which
Of course,
was
yeah.
harder because life in Bulgaria was much more normal.
Okay.
So it was like coming back from normal life into very strict quarantine. But then after that, you know, it's been fine.
Oh.
So yeah, it's good to be back, to be honest.
Oh. Yeah, welcome back. Yay. Yeah, so things are all good here, Valerie. I made banana bread the other day. That's good.
Yummy.
Most of it's in my tummy now, so it's good.
Well done.
It was a bit gooey. Sorry, go on. After you, Maria. Sorry.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say banana bread used to be my staple, and then lockdown happened, and then everyone started making banana bread, and I haven't made one since. So I feel like everyone.
It was like I saw something that I did, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna do it more beautifully," and I was like, "Oh."
Exactly. This was the only cake I used to make. So yeah, and I think gooey is best, to be honest.
Fab. Good stuff. Because my reason for making it was I bought a load of bananas thinking I'd be super healthy and eat all these bananas and just didn't. So I just had a bowl of black bananas. And I thought, right, what can I do with these? Banana bread. That'll do.
Good strategy. I haven't done any baking at all over lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe the winter will call me to do more, I think.
I mean, winter leads to baking in general.
Yeah.
Lockdown or otherwise. I'm sorry that as the host I have not managed like sexy host lighting.
I think that's pretty sexy. It's purple, mood lighting.
It's
That's
very
cool.
purple.
It looks pretty cool there, to be honest.
It's red.
It's like you've got an alien spacecraft above you, like going to beam you up or something.
Alien spacecraft. It's very good.
Is Katie going to play piano for us again?
No.
Oh, how exciting. I missed yesterday, so I don't know about everyone's fantastic musical skills.
It was so good. So many skills going around. It's fab. Loads of people I didn't know played or sang or anything. It was really good.
What did you do yesterday?
So we had a Storytime the musical special. So if anyone that wanted could sing or play or do anything kind of musical. It was really good. Loads of people I didn't know could play or sing. Were just fantastic. Yeah, well done, everyone. Round of applause. It's
Sorry,
really cool.
I missed it.
Yeah. It's worth it having a look on the catch-up. Definitely.
Oh, great. I'll do that.
Yeah.
There might not be a catch-up.
Oh, okay.
Everyone who performed has to consent to Frankie posting.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So do we want to start? Yeah.
You're a glorious host.
I think that everyone who said they had something for me and was definitely going to show up has arrived. So
Hey, Andrada.
Hello.
Just in time. Just as a bear as well. Love it.
I've remembered a few people who have things, but definitely feel free to jump in and be like, hey, I've got a thing. But I'm going to start. I might start with 2, actually. I might do my 2 and then open it up to the floor because I've got one that's just about general thanks and one that's about food and family. For those of you who don't know, Canadian Thanksgiving is Monday, which is why I was like, this is a good weekend to do gratitude as a theme. And yeah, Canadian Thanksgiving is 6 weeks earlier than American Thanksgiving. and a little bit less.
For? Like I know,
Sorry?
I know American Thanksgiving is like linked to a particular event. Is Canadian Thanksgiving just generally Thanksgiving?
Canadian Thanksgiving is linked to a particular event, but it was a mass on James Bay, which didn't particularly matter all that much. So in Canada, it's a little bit more of a religious holiday, but because fewer and fewer Canadians over time are very Catholic, it's become much more a family holiday of harvest rather than like we don't have the I had an elementary school teacher who was like, we're going to do Thanksgiving and it's going to be about pilgrims and Indians, and everyone in our class, like as kids, were like, huh? What? That's not what Thanksgiving is. So it's about giving thanks for the harvest and food and family in the way that many other cultures have harvest festivals around this time of the year, where you get together and pick the food and eat it. So, sorry. Oh, there's a drop. There's a drop. I'm gonna have it. So, I have a poem called Dusting by Marilyn Nelson. Thanks for these tiny particles of ocean salt, pearl necklace virtues, viruses, winged protozoans, for the infinite intricate shapes of submicroscopic living things, for algae spores and fungus spores, bonded by vital mutual genetic cooperation, spreading their inseparable lives from equator to pole. My hand, my arm, making sweeping circles, dust climbs the ladder of light for this infernal, endless chore, for these eternal seeds of rain. Thank you for dust.
Yay!
And then I have another one, which is more like in the spirit of the holiday. That it's been nice to have the opportunity to think about gratitude, because in this space of like global pandemic, when you are not allowed to touch your friends, it's good to think about connection and what we are grateful for. And one of the things I'm grateful for is family and history and tradition and food and being able to share food. So I found this poem that is not from my culture, it doesn't represent my family, but I think it's a lovely poem. And it's called Grace, like giving grace at a table, by Jake Adam York. Because my grandmother made me the breakfast her mother made her, when I cracked the egg, pat the butter on the toast, and remember the bacon to cast iron, to fork, to plate, to tongue. My great-grandmother moves my hands to whisk, to spatula, to biscuit ring, and I move her hands too, making her mess, so the syllable of batter that I'll find tomorrow beneath the fridge, and the strew of salt and oil are all memorials, like the pan-fried chicken that whistles in the grease, in the voice of my best friend's grandmother, like the midnight mockingbird, and the smoke of the grill is the smell of my father coming home from the furnace, and the tang of vinegar, and the char of the smell of Birmingham, in the smell of my coming home, of history, redolent as the salt of the black and white film that I unwrap, the sandwich from the wax paper crackling like the cold grass along the Selma Montgomery Road, like the foil that held Medgar's last meal, a square of tin that is just the ghost of the barbecue that I can imagine to my tongue, that I stand at the pit with my brother and think of all the hands and mouths and breaths of air that sharpened this flavor and handed it down to us. I feel all those hands inside my hands when it's time to spread the table linen or lift a coffin rail, when the smoke billows from the pit. I think of my uncle, rising, not falling, when I rise the buttermilk from the cornmeal to the light before giving them the skillet. And sometimes I say the recipe to the heart And sometimes I say his name or her name, and sometimes I just set the table because meals are memorials that teach us how to move. History moves us as we raise our voices and then our glasses and pour a little out for those who poured out everything for us. We pour ourselves for them so that they can eat, so that we can eat again.
Hey.
I
So I
might
know-
have something that follows on from that because
Great.
it's food and barbecue sort of related.
Awesome.
It's written by Honoré Fanon Jeffers, and this is her. It's called The Gospel of Barbecue. Long after it was necessary, Uncle Vess ate the leavings off the hog, doused them with vinegar sauce. He ate chewy abominations. Then came high pressure, then came the little pills. Then came the doctor who stole Vess's second sight, the predication of pig's blood every fourth Sunday. Then came the stillness of barn earth, no more trembling at his step. Then came the end of the rib, but before his eyes clouded, Uncle Vess wrote down the Gospel of Barbecue. Chapter 1. Somebody got to die with something at some time or another. Chapter 2. Don't ever trust white folk to cook your meat until it's done to the bone. Chapter 3. December is the best time for hog killing. The meat won't spoil as quick. Screams and blood freeze over before they hit the air. Chapter 4, verse 1. Great-Grandma Mandy used to say food you was whipped for tasted the best. Chapter 4, verse 2. Old Master knew to lock the ham-bacon chops away quick or the slaves would rob him blind. He knew a padlock to the smokehouse was best to prevent stealing, but even the sorriest of slaves would risk a beating for a full belly. So Christmas time, he gave his nasty leftovers to the well-behaved. The head, ears, snout, tail, fatback, chitlins, feet, ribs, balls. He thought gratitude made a good seasoning. Chapter 5. Unclean means dirty, means filthy, means underwear worn too long in summertime heat. Perfectly good food can't be no sin. Maybe the little bit of meat on ribs makes for lean eating. Maybe the pink flesh is tasteless until you add onions, garlic, black pepper, tomatoes, soured apple, cider. But survival ain't never been no crime against nature or maker. See, stay alive in the meantime. Laugh a little harder. Go on and gnaw that bone clean.
These are so delicious, and I think all of the descriptions of smells and food and like sounds in both of these poems just made it so vivid to me. And now I kind of want to have a second dinner, even though we just ate. I'm really unhappy. Yeah. I was going to say I have a poem which is Grace after dinner. So if there are any other poems which are about dinner, I think I should read after them. So I was just going to ask if anyone else has a food
Melissa's got a food one, so maybe she should go before you.
Yes, definitely.
Oh.
Well, it's not so much dinner, but it is food.
Yeah,
because that's how I know how to that's how I understand gratitude.
I mean, food is a legit way to interact with gratitude.
I feel like we've had some very serious poems. This one is not.
I have been given other poems that are not serious. I'm a serious person.
This is not a serious poem, but I think it's still about gratitude. the key thing you need to know is that zucchini is the North American term for courgette.
Very important.
Very important. This poem is called Attack of the Squash People. And it's by Marge Piercy. Ainsley already knows what it's about. Okay. Right. And thus the people every year in the valley of humid July did sacrifice themselves to the long green phallic god and eat and eat and eat. They're coming. They're on us. The long striped gourds, the silky babies, the hairy adolescents, the lumpy vast adults like the trunks of green elephants. Recite 50 zucchini recipes. Zucchini tempura, creamed soups, saute with olive oil and cumin, tomatoes, onion, frittata, casserole of lamb baked, topped with cheese, marinated, stuffed, stewed, driven through the heart like a stake. Get rid of old friends. They too have gardens and full trunks. Look for newcomers, befriend them in the post office, unload on them and run. Stop tourists in the street. Take truckloads to Boston, give to your Red Cross. Beg on the highway, please take my zucchini. I have a crippled mother at home with heartburn. Sneak out before dawn to drop them in other people's gardens, in baby buggies at church doors. Shot smuggling zucchini into mailboxes, a federal offense. With a suave reptilian glitter, you bask among your raspy fronds, sudden and huge as alligators. You give and give too much, like summer days limp with heat, thunderstorms bursting their bags on our heads as we salt and freeze and pickle for the too little to come.
That's brilliant.
I just had an epiphany, which is Gustav keeps thinking he's going to plant squash in Scotland. And I keep saying, I don't think squash will grow in Scotland that well. But that's my definition of squash growing well.
Which is too much.
Which is too much.
I can attest that you can grow too many courgettes in Scotland.
Yeah.
My mum does it every year.
He lives in Glasgow. So, you know, if
That's impressive, Katie.
you grow too many courgettes.
I do not grow too many courgettes. It's my mum that grows too many courgettes.
Does she also live in Glasgow?
No, she lives further north, so you should be fine.
Okay.
I mean, I've been skeptical about growing the nightshades in Scotland because that's my definition of nightshades being effective. Maybe my skepticism should be changed.
Try it.
We grew tomatoes and
one
squash
pumpkin.
and one pumpkin.
Oh,
Tiny pumpkin.
One tiny pumpkin.
thank you.
Does anybody have anything they want to come next with?
Before Grace after that.
Michael, I know you have things, and I think I've got things that are not about food. So Maria, your after dinner could go anywhere.
So this is my after dinner, which is a poem by Robert Burns, and it's a grace. And although I'm not very religious, I think religion gets gratitude, right? So it's it reminds us that we have to be grateful a lot and frequently. So this is the Scottish, I'm going to try my best. Okay, Scottish grace for after dinner. O thou in whom we live and move, who made the sea and shore, thy goodness constantly we prove, and grateful we adore. And if it please thee, power above, still grant us with such store the friend we trust, the fair we love, and we desire no more. Amen.
That's a great.
That's lovely.
Can agree.
Very grateful for you, for Scotland, and for Michael today specifically.
Michael?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do my one as well. Come from the Yeah, on the subject of gratitude, I'm very grateful for my old childminder who used to look after me when my mum did night shifts. There's like and my dad was away down as a traveling salesman. So I wrote this poem. It's partly in Scots, so I'll put it in the I'll send it through the chat just to, it's easier to read if people not sure. Yeah, so her name was Norma, and the poem's just called Childminder. Edinburgh is being fed mince and tatties for tea, upstairs in the Stockbridge colonies. Working home filled with working people. Private garden where you nodded to your neighbour, looked in when their grass wasn't cut. Your duties are clearly defined. Sit and read your comic while the coal fire burns and the old lady fusses with baby. Wait for your mum to get back from work, dad somewhere in Wolverhampton. You're a good wee bairn. Get your coat on, you need some air. So it's out the door, down the stair, across the cobbles, and a dawdle behind the pram, watching and learning. As we pace the water of Leith, a Mars bar wrapper is shocking. A grand old sycamore is braw. Things you'd never get for the TV. We stop and chuck with Samaras in the air. Learnt that word later. It's helicopter seeds for now that fall all about us. I hope my wee brother in the pram is taking it all in.
Aw.
Oh, that's fantastic, Michael. Good to have you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to see you. I didn't realize. Did you grow up in the Stockbridge colonies?
Yeah, well, I was born in the colonies. Well, I spent my first 2 years of life in the colonies, and then moved to Catastrophically, the suburban thing. Yeah, but then my childminder still lived there, so they used to drop me off there until I was maybe 8 or 9, I think. So I have a good connection with the water of Leith there. It's really nice.
Mm.
She's moved to Fife. She sold her colony, this thing, and then bought a mansion more or less in Fife. So
You still know your childminder from when you were a kid?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
A family friend, basically. Like, yeah,
That's so
Yeah.
nice.
every year or something.
Mike?
Yep.
You said with you?
I've got a choice of 4. No, these are all other people. I haven't written any today. So you've got a choice of a sonnet, fun stuff, heartfelt, or beautiful. Any of those sound
I'm not
like where you want to
to
go?
Sonnet.
Sonnet. Okay, sonnet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This is Sonnet I Thank You by Henry Nimrod. I thank you, kind and best beloved friend, with the same thanks one murmurs to a sister, when, for some gentle favour, he hath kissed her. Less for the gifts than for the love you send, less for the flowers than what the flowers convey. If I indeed divine the meaning truly, and not undo myself, ascribe unduly, things which you neither meant nor wished to say. Oh, tell me, is the hope then all misplaced? And am I flattered by my own affection? But in your beauteous gift, methought, I traced something above a short-lived predilection, and which, for that I know no dearer name, I designate as love, without love's flame. I like that one. That's cute.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wish that we had a wide enough angle that you could see Gustav, because he is very, very touched.
Oh, bless you.
Like, visibly.
Oh, bless you, mate.
Do you want to give us one of your other ones?
Yeah, sure, yeah. So the next one on... should we save the fun one for later? Okay. This is called Mist Time by Ha-Jin. I think I'm pronouncing the name right. H-A space J-I-N. Okay. My notebook has remained blank for months. Thanks to the light you shower around me. I have no use for my pen, which lies languishingly without grief. Nothing is better than to live a storyless life that needs no writing for meaning. When I am gone, let others say they lost a happy man, though no one can tell how happy I was.
I love that one.
Yeah, it's cute, that. I really like that one.
I can relate to that because the thing about when you meet someone that you can tell everything to, you don't need to write anymore. I think that's something I can relate to.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. It's good to have good friends.
Yeah.
Trying to air hug these two.
Air hug strangers. Does anybody have things they would like to share?
I've got another couple. You go.
Maybe I'll do a few and then you can do a few, Michael.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. This one's called All I Ever Wanted by Katie Ford. When I thought it was right to name my desires, what I wanted of life, they seemed to turn like bleeding sheep, not to me, who could have been a caring if unskilled shepherd, but to the Boxton Hills beyond which the Blue Mountains sloped down with poppies, orange as crayfish, all the way to the Pacific Seas, in which the hulls of whales steered them in search of a mate, for whom they bellowed in the night in a new, highly particular song. We might call the most ardent articulation of love. The pin at the tip of evolution, modestly shining. In the middle of my life, it was right to say that my desires, but they went away. I couldn't even make them out, not even as dots now in the distance. Yet I see the small lights of winter campfires in the hills. Teenagers in love often go there for their first nights, and each yellow, white glow tells me, when I know and admit to knowing, that all I ever wanted was to sit by a fire with someone who wanted me in measure, in the same to my wanting. To want to make a fire with someone, with you, was all.
Oh, well, hugs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Maybe Michael, one of yours?
Oh, yeah, okay. This is,
Unless other people want to butt in. I feel like I feel like all the people who told me they had a thing.
I've got one more.
Have read the Michael's got another, and Mike's got two.
Shall I go, then you go, then I go?
I have a 16-minute one if you want it.
Okay, other Michael, I've got a kind of a funny one and a kind of a beautiful, heartfelt one. I'm not sure whether either of those go well with yours.
Shall we do the heartfelt one? You do the heartfelt one.
Yeah, cool.
My one.
Awesome.
I've got Thanks for a Gift, which I think is unrelated to kind of things going on.
Okay, fab. Well, this is, it wouldn't be poetry time if we didn't have a Naomi Shihab Nye. So this is Two Countries by Naomi Shihab Nye. Type the chat. Fabulous. It's called Two Countries. Skin remembers how long the years grow when skin is not touched. A grey tunnel of singleness, feather lost from the tail of a bird, swirling onto a step. Swept away by someone who never saw it was a feather. Skin ate, walked, slept by itself, knew how to raise a see you later hand, but skin felt it was never seen, never known as a land on a map, nose like a city, hip like a city, gleaming dome of the mosque and 100 corridors of cinnamon and rope. Skin had hope. That's what skin does. Heals over the scarred place, makes a road. Love means you breathe in two countries, and skin remembers. Silk, spiny grass, deep in the pocket that is skin's secret own. Even now, when the skin is not alone, it remembers being alone and thanks something larger. That there are travelers, that people go places larger than themselves. Well done, Naomi Shevnai. Yay!
Lovely. Yeah. I thought it's because of it's kind of related to harvest, because the Chinese harvest moon, they call it, they have the moon festival, and like it's their harvest festival. They all have a big meal and eat special cakes and look up at the moon.
Mooncake.
Sorry?
The best cake. Mooncake.
Mooncake, yeah, it's great stuff.
What is mooncake? What is it?
I'm always a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Too dry.
it's bean paste surrounded in pastry. It's very sugary.
Every combination.
Are you a pro egg in the middle or anti egg in the middle?
Auntie.
Egg in the middle of what? Oh, of mooncake. No.
Anti.
I don't think I've ever had. I think all of the people who have introduced me to mooncake have been anti-egg in the middle mooncake people.
Okay.
I've never had a mooncake with egg in it. Is that a thing?
Yeah, most Chinese ones in China, most ones in China proper, and the very first one I ate, which kind of like, because it has the yolk of an egg in the middle to represent the moon. And that's tradition.
Okay.
So like the first time I bit into it, and it was like an unseasoned, just boiled egg in the middle of a sweet thing. And Chinese people have kind of different ideas of sweet and savory.
It's true.
But yeah, so I prefer non-egg as well.
Okay. I thought it was like a Scottish twist, just putting an egg in the middle, like the whole Scottish thing.
That's Gustav's approach to Caesar salad.
Like a Scotch mooncake. Or a Scotch egg.
I'm so confused right now. Michael, don't do that to me.
Yeah, well, like mooncakes, they don't have to have the egg. You don't have to, so it's fine.
No, yeah, I've never had a mooncake. I knew that egg was an option, but I didn't realize it was the normal option.
Yeah.
Is it not normal in Taiwan? Is it like the Taiwanese version isn't the egg and the
Well, what you tend to find is like the shop bought ones rarely have egg.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
The ones that they make themselves have egg. So like, and I have this kind of, if you have this kind of homemade feel to them, or you get like local ones, then they have more likely to have egg in them.
So the egg makes you feel like your mother really loves you.
So somebody out there is thinking, makes you think of the moon. This is like,
I mean,
whichever.
Read the poem.
Poem.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I got too hung up on boiled eggs. I'm sorry.
The boiled egg. This is a poem about a boiled egg in the sky. And he was the poet's Li Bai, who's like about 1,500 years ago, which always I think is cool because Scotland didn't exist, and it's like but the and it's a tiny poem anyway. But looking at the moon means family, essentially, is all you have to know. Just by me, bright moonlight fell like frost had crossed the ground. Head up, I watched yon rising moon, then thought of home, head down.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That's super sweet. Love it.
I saw a second verse right there, and I thought it's not over yet, but it's actually the English versus Scottish translation that Michael made.
Yeah, so like, yeah. I've got a version that's more Scots, but I thought I'd have it.
Wait, you have a version of the 11th century Chinese poem that's more Scots?
Well, that's my own translation, like the of it.
Wow.
Moon Festival. I thought like, oh, we'll do a kind of. I wanted. I had this kind of idea. I wanted to translate it into Scots.
Do it.
So yeah, fair enough. Just By the by, breath moonlight fell like frost across the ground. He'd up a watch yon rising moon, and thocht the home he'd done.
It's different.
I love them both.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was always my favorite Chinese poem because it's so simple. I could actually read it. I've like very intermediate Chinese. So.
Oh, nice.
That's super impressive.
Chinese.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got Bina on Japanese, you on Chinese. We've got like the whole language covered here. Yeah.
I think Andrada said they had one. Do you want to go next?
Sure. It's called A Poem of Gratitude. Yay, it's in the title. By Kay Boyle. Now the tide is coming in, each long, low, hastening wave in the cove, arching a little, barely spewing, but running into the salt grass the way a river whispers in. I see the fluid fingers pass along the shallows, and the scalpel of the jetty probing, and you are far in ether sleep. The small door of your heart first swinging wide, then closing, opening and closing, hinged not by tissue, but by metal in their quick gloved hands. I think of you, tender as spring fern in the rain, pliant as seaweed in man's current. I see the waves ride swiftly in on the sands, see the weather vane reel on its pole, its fluctuating arrow crying, "Here, here, there is breath." And I say, "This is good. It must be good, this omen. I have known the meridian of your heart too long to accept any break in it, any crack, any faltering." Now the far star of the lighthouse shines, and the moon floats in the trees, rosy and silken. The waves run softly in, and the nighthawk gives its brief, fierce cry as you once cried. Where you now lie, the tide of ether ebbs, and the small door of your heart opens and closes, opens. But now it is the south wind of your blood that blows it wide. In the clear dusk, I put my arm around the memory of all we were not, and I am happy, watching the cove hold in its curve the deepening waters of the tide.
Yay! That's lovely.
I always love sea poems.
I mean, I think the sea is a generally well loved topic in our poetry nights.
Yeah, it's
So
got
goes
some
the
form.
moon.
That was beautiful.
It was really
The
good.
moon.
The sea and the moon, definitely.
Melissa loved it.
Top of the leaderboard there, definitely.
Moon, sea, they are all our lovers, and we care about them muchly. Michael's got another. Ivan, do you want to? You told me you don't have mic, but do you? And that maybe you have something to share. No. Yes.
I do have a mic, but it's noisy in here.
If you want to try, I'm open to trying.
If you want to play the link, it's available on Spotify.
Oh, I can. Do people want to listen to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do that, yeah.
See if I can get up. Where did my Spotify go? Okay, I'm just gonna click it again. It's fine. Oh God. I'm gonna share my audio so that we can maybe get decent sound. It is. Okay, give me a second. Share screen. Share computer sound. Share. Okay. People, wave your arms if it's not working. If I've done something wrong, like make it obvious. we're gonna play a thing, and you should hear it now.
Water, living water, life, gift from heaven up above. When you came down to earth, life began to breathe, and a marvelous world unfold. Water, living water, life, gift from heaven up above. When you came down to earth, our soil light filled our lives and colored our world.
And all nature around us begins to dance. All nature around starts to sing. From mountain tops you flip and flop like gushing falls, you shower burst. La 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 la. From mountain tops you flip and flop like gushing falls, you shower burst. Down to the river your journey goes, giving us life.
Water, living water, life, gift from heaven up above.
When you came down to earth, life began to breathe, and a marvelous world unfolds.
Water, living water, life, gift from heaven up above.
When you came down to earth, our soul light filled our lives and colored our world. And all nature around us begins to dance. All nature around starts to sing.
From birds to cities we cross the land, humming and silence when in the king. La 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 la. From birds to cities we cross the land, humming and silence when in the king. Life is far where you pass, touching your terrace slopes. Water, living water, life, gift from heaven up above.
When you came down to earth, life began to breathe, and the marvelous world unfolds.
Water, living water, life, gift from heaven up above.
When you came down to earth, our soul light filled our lives and colored our world. Whenever you stop as you see from a glance, the sea waits again to embrace you. And when the sun kisses, you're ready to fly up and away from where you came from, to continue the cycle of life once more.
Water, living water, life, gift from
When you came down to earth, life began to breathe, and the marvelous world unfolds.
water, living water,
Some background to that.
That
The
was amazing. That was really cool.
the
Very
music
talented.
the music was Duncan's. It was made in Scotland. The
Water,
lyrics.
Sorry,
such
sorry.
Oops.
common word.
I
Such
just let it play. Sorry, I've stopped it now.
Yeah, the lyrics were written in the Philippines, and the music was produced in Florence, in Italy.
Oh, nice. I felt like it should be part of Moana.
But if you see the links in Spotify and in iTunes, they don't even credit the composer.
That's really bad.
All you see is HSBC, and the composer doesn't get credited.
They're a bank.
Even when they were even when the children were performing it, they never credited the composer.
Okay.
That's
And
terrible.
there were never any royalties either.
I mean,
That's even worse.
I know.
I'm just very talented, and that was a good song. I'm sorry that sucks.
The other thing is, one of the vocalists that you hear, the one doing the high harmonies in the background, she won the Junior Eurovision
Oh, nice.
A few years ago.
Cool.
I was gonna say that it makes me think of Junior Eurovision, because there were a few years, maybe 10 years ago, when I was actually listening to it. And I think Malta host it, or Malta did really.
Yes, that's because they won it. That's why they hosted it.
Nice.
Yes.
That's how Eurovision
It
does.
made me think of Eurovision.
But if you listen to the backing track, there are definite Scottish twists in it.
Yeah.
Especially with the bagpipe bits.
Yeah.
They're not Scottish bagpipes. They're just Italian traditional pipes, which are different to the Scottish bagpipes, but they kept a lot of the nuances that the original composition had.
Nice. Next, I think Gustav has a thing that he wants to share, and then maybe I'll pass it to Mike. Yeah?
Yeah? Everyone hear me? Yes? Yeah, good. So this poem is called The Good News by Thich Nhat Hanh, who turns 94 tomorrow. They don't publish the good news. The good news is published by us. We have a special edition every moment, and we need you to read it. The good news is that you are alive, and the linden tree is still there, standing firm in the harsh winter. The good news is that you have wonderful eyes to touch the blue sky. The good news is that your child is there before you, and your arms are available. Hugging is possible. They only print what is wrong. Look at each of our special editions. We always offer the things that are not wrong. We want you to benefit from them and help protect them. The dandelion is there by the sidewalk, smiling its wondrous smile, singing the song of eternity. Listen, you have ears that can hear it. Bow your head, listen to it. Leave behind the world of sorrow and preoccupation and get free. The latest good news is that you can do it.
That was great.
I love his poetry.
Yeah.
I wrote a very small, cheesy poem based on a conversation I had with Mike today.
Do your small, cheesy poem.
It's called Tell Me What's Been Good Today. Tell me what's been good today, but I don't have a thing to say. I did the things I always do, a boring day with nothing new. But looking back, I guess there might be joyful moments, gleams of light. A shooting star, a cooling rain, a loving hug, relief from pain. A sparkling leaf bedecked with frost, finding a spoon I thought I'd lost. Glimpsing the moon behind a tree, a dance you thought I didn't see. A perfect apple, crisp and sweet, a smile from across the street. How could a day with so much good not cause a sense of gratitude?
Yay, that's beautiful, Katie. Oh, that's so lovely.
That's so adorable.
So lovely.
I love it.
Oh, thank you very much.
That was beautiful.
Also, I laid out my quilt on the
Oh,
back, which is
Have a
why
look.
I haven't been on video.
Hey, Lisa. Hey, Jonas.
Lisa, Jonas.
Maybe just Lisa?
Maybe just Lisa, but
Just Lisa.
just Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Wow, look at that blanket.
Quilt. Damn.
Oh, pretty quilt.
That's
You're neurotic and
amazing.
I love you.
Hubert.
Is that for real?
That's for real. That's what I've been crawling around on the floor trying to lay out properly, which is why I haven't been on camera.
To be honest.
Amazing, Katie. So talented.
Do other people have things they want to share? I know Michael's got one more. I've got one, thanks for a gift. Only Lisa. Does Lisa have things?
No.
I like how you adjusted your name.
I lost track of time very much this evening. I was planning to get here for 9.
Listen, everything sucks during the pandemic.
Oh, well, it's lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you all.
Sorry.
Have a picture of some elephants hugging Lisa.
Elephant. Wow. Wait, what are we looking at? A drawing of an elephant by Katie. Wait, let me.
It's
like,
not by me. It's definitely not by me.
not by you. But where did you get it from?
It is in this book of hugs.
Oh, that's adorable.
My other table people can see it bigger. Show the picture of the elephant again.
Oh.
It's an elephant hug.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, elephants.
Oh my god.
Is there an octopus hug? Because I want to see it.
There really needs to be one.
Because octopuses probably I expect give the best hugs, and I'm committed.
There is, but I'm not going to rule it.
Dedicated to
Or a
octopus.
caterpillar.
Yeah, caterpillars are good.
Thousands of arms.
Octopuses might win.
There's some duck-billed platypuses.
Yeah.
Octopuses
Oh,
are
they-
good as well. They don't have 8 legs.
No, they don't.
Greedy now. The elephant hug was
I
glorious.
am greedy. Like.
There's some tentacly monsters.
Oh yeah.
Love a good tentacle monster.
Do they have suckers on their tentacles?
Oh. That wins my house.
Extended household.
I've got a Naruto. I think Mike's got one after that. So this is Thanks for a Gift, which is Ode to My Socks by Pablo Neruda. Maro Mori brought me a pair of socks, which I'm not muted, right? Good. Maro Mori brought me a pair of socks, which she knitted herself with her sheep herder's hands. 2 socks as soft as rabbits. I slipped my feet into them, as though into 2 cases knitted with threads of twilight and goat skin. Violent socks. My feet were 2 fish made of wool. 2 long sharks, sea blue, shot through by 1 golden thread. 2 immense blackbirds, 2 cannons. My feet were honored in this way by these heavenly socks. They were so handsome. For the first time, my feet seemed to me unacceptable, like 2 decrepit firemen. Firemen unworthy of that woven fire, of those glowing socks. Nevertheless, I resisted the sharp temptation to save them somewhere, as schoolboys keep fireflies, as learned men collect sacred texts. I resisted the mad impulse to put them into a golden cage, and each day give them birdseed and pieces of pink melon, like explorers in the jungle who had over the very rare green deer to the spit and eat it with remorse. I stretched out my feet and pulled on the magnificent socks, and then my shoes. The moral of my ode is, beauty is twice beauty, when what is good is doubly good, when it is a matter of 2 socks made of wool in winter.
Oh yeah.
I deeply appreciated this poem as someone who loves good socks. So
I appreciate good socks as well. Like, yeah. Especially as someone who lives in Scotland where socks are very important.
yeah.
I mean, Neruda spent his life in like Chile and Spain.
Sure.
Socks that much.
Imagine how much.
Imagine how much he would love socks if he ever lived
Oh
in
my
Scotland.
God.
Oh my God! Just imagine that ode
Imagine Ode to Socks by Neruda from Scotland.
from Scotland.
It would go on for 12 pages.
It really would, and we would probably hate him for it.
There would be many metaphors.
Michael, sorry, Mike.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's cool, yeah. Yeah, sounds good, yeah. So this one is called Brian, Age 7, and it's by Mark Doty.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Grateful for their tour of the pharmacy, the first grade class has drawn these pictures. Each self-portrait taped to the window glass, faces wide to the street, round and available with parallel lines for hair. I like this one best. Brian, whose attenuated name fills a quarter of the frame. Stretched beside impossible legs descending from the ball of his torso, 2 long arms springing from that same central sphere. He breathes here, on his page. It isn't craft that makes his figure come alive. Brian draws just balls and lines in wobbly crayon strokes. Why do some marks seem to thrill with life, possess a portion of the nervous energy in their maker's hands? That big curve of a smile reaches nearly to the rim of his face. He holds a towering ice cream, brown spheres teetering on their cone, a soda fountain gift, half the length of him, as if it were a flag of his own country held high by the unadorned black line of his arm. Such naked support for such delight. Artless boy, he's found a system of beauty. He shows us pleasure, and what pleasure resists? The ice cream is delicious. He's frail beside his relentless standard.
Nice. I keep muting myself and then saying things.
Oh.
Aw.
Gorgeous. Does anybody have anything else they want to share?
I can read a love poetry with loads of lovely imagery.
Do it.
Yes, please.
It's by
Okay,
Christina
so-
Rossetti, and it's called A Birthday. My heart is like a singing bird whose nest is in a watered shoot. My heart is like an apple tree whose boughs are bent with thick-set fruit. My heart is like a rainbow shell that paddles in a halcyon sea. My heart is gladder than all of these because my love is come to me. Raise me a dais of silken down, hang it with vair and purple dyes, carve it in doves and pomegranates and peacocks with 100 eyes, work it in gold and silver grapes, in leaves and silver fleur-de-lis, because the birthday of my life is come, my love is come to me.
Oh, so cute.
That was beautiful.
How do you pronounce this word?
Okay, so halcyon, yeah.
Halcyon.
Halcyon.
Yeah.
You got it.
I've only ever seen it written down before.
I agree. Melissa said, I hate it when it happens. Definitely agree.
Yeah.
Does anybody have anything else they want to share? No? Because of my love for Ross Gay, I have 2 options to end on, one of which is 2 minutes, one of which is 16 minutes. I assume we want the 2-minute one, but if anybody wants the really long one, please tell me.
You could have the long one in bonus poetry time.
Or like after I stop the recording. Oh, it's
Yeah, that's right.
Who's the host right now? Wait, let me see who's the host right now. Who is the host?
Nobody, but if we like wave at the catch-up crew and stuff, then Frankie can like stop it there when she uploads it.
So I'll end on the short Ross Gay, which is just called Thank You. If you find yourself half naked and barefoot in frosty grass, hearing again the earth's great sonorous moan that says, you are the air of the now and gone, that says, all that you love will turn to dust and will meet you there. Do not raise your fist. Do not raise your small voice against it. And do not take cover. Instead, curl your toes into the grass and watch the cloud ascending from your lips. Walk through the garden's dormant splendor and say only, thank you, thank you.
Great one to end on. Yeah. Beautiful.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, anybody have anything they want to add? Oh, I'm throwing lenses around.
Such a nice ending one.
Yeah.
I love Ross Gay so much. He's like the best. So bye, catch-up crew.
Bye, catch-up crew.
Bye, catch-up crew.
Bye, catch-up crew.
Love all.